welcome to Scot Rock. This is our very first episode. I'm Chris Shapiro, and
I'm Tom Hyland.
And let's tell you a little bit about how the show works. The first segment, Tom and I are going to be talking about classic rock. We both love classic rock, and we'll be talking about everything from greatest guitar players of all time to best album jackets. Then for the second segment of the show, we'll invite a local artist on to perform, and we'll talk about his or her music a little bit. But for our first show, we're going to talk about summer concert reviews, summer concerts that we went to. And Tom, you got to go see ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner, so tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, Freebird Live was on my bucket list, and now I can officially cross. I just knocked that one right out. I don't know. I mean, they are famous for the live version of the song. I mean, that the live recording is kind of what that song is famous for. But I don't know. There's something about the energy of it, like actually being there, the experience that just throws it over the top. It's such a high energy, powerful song, and it I don't know, it just blew me away watching those guys. To know that
you're like watching something, being a part of something that's so famous, this song, and you're seeing it live.
And I almost didn't believe it. Like, I was waiting to wake up. It was a, I don't know, it was a dream. It smelled like pot and alcohol, but it was a dream. And then ZZ Top, I mean, Leonard Skinner, of course, they got 4 guitar players running all over the place. They just, so high energy, great show, awesome showman. ZZ Top is what really impressed me, because they had their string of videos in the 80s, and that's really what made them famous. But going to one of their shows, I kind of expected to just see 3 guys standing up there playing Texas blues rock.
Yeah.
But it really, I mean, they stood up there and they played Texas blues rock, but they were engaging. They would like bend down over the audience. They'd run back and forth, and like they'd play up against each other.
Yeah. Now I have to ask you, did they have the guitars from the music videos that they could spin around and then keep playing?
Absolutely.
Did they? Because that's over the top right there.
That made my night. When I saw those, I didn't think they were real. Honestly, like when I saw the videos, I thought they were just props. But they're actual guitars. I mean, they had the wireless inlines, but
did the crowd go nuts whenever they did that?
Oh my God! The crowd went nuts when they walked out with the guitars. The white ones that are if nobody knows what we're talking about, they're the white furry guitars that don't look like they're actually playable. And they came out. They had those, and everybody just went crazy as soon as they saw them. And then they were playing, and then they got to a part of the song, and they just both flipped them and spun them, and it was just.
So they're great showmen.
They are excellent showmen. Billy Gibbons had this one. He had this one part. He was playing the solo. I think it was for Sharp Dressed Man. They did these elongated jamming solos because that's just what they do live. And part of the solo for Sharp Dressed Man, he pulled out his cigar, put it in his mouth, and kept playing with one hand, like just doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. Started patting his jacket, looking for what I presume to be a lighter. And he just did one of these, signaled off stage. Had one of his guitar hands come on, light his cigar, and he never broke character. He
just kept
playing,
going.
like had his cigar lit up and just.
Yeah.
It was good. It was entertaining. That was.
So you got your money's worth.
You did get, well, I don't know, $50 a ticket, but
still that's good to see.
For 2 bands,
yeah, especially these 2 bands. Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
You're also telling me that they invited someone out from the audience who was from the town or
they did.
A local resident or someone.
I mean, it wasn't like they just pulled somebody up, but it seemed like it was planned, and it had to have been planned in advance. They had a local guy. I'm not sure. I've seen him around. I've heard his name. I don't remember his name. But I guess he knew them, or he was friends with them, or had some kind of connection. And they brought him on for their finale playing Tush. And he came on, he got to play guitar with Billy Gibbons.
That has to be mind-blowing for that guy, to just be up on stage with that star power.
Billy Gibbons is one of my favorite guitar players of all time, and I don't know, I envy that guy for a little bit, especially because I finally made it up to the front row for the finale.
Broke your way through the crowd.
I was like, yes, and then they brought this guy out, and I felt like crap. I was like, why isn't that me?
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I'm jealous. Now I have to ask you about Leonard Skinner for a second, going back to them. What members are still original with them? Because I know they've gone through a lot of changes. Is there anyone?
They have one original guitar player, and that's all that's left. His name escapes me at the moment, but everybody else has since died or left. I believe they've actually all died. but there's something about Leonard Skinner, like their music, especially with the song Freebird, it's so iconic, and it's reached out to such an audience that Leonard Skinner isn't really 6 or 7 guys running around on stage. It's the music. I mean, obviously it takes those 6 or 7 guys to
make that sound.
But Leonard Skinner is more of a sound, especially, and bands like Journey are like that too. They found sound-alike singers. And I mean,
but it's the sound
it's the sound that people associate with.
Where it's not like a front man that's really driving the band. It's just the sound.
Well, like with Queen and Freddie Mercury, and that band was basically Freddie Mercury.
Right.
Nobody really, I mean, everybody, because he was such an outstanding thing, but without,
he was the main draw, and he was just associated with Queen.
Yeah.
And
now they have Paul Rodgers singing, and it's not Queen anymore.
Yeah.
Queen.
They can never live up to that.
They exist in the sound.
Yeah.
It's not the people that are playing it. It's the sound.
Where Leonard Skinner, they were sort of like a faceless band.
Yeah.
Like Chicago.
Well,
you didn't know what they looked like.
A lot of bands that started in the 70s before MTV. I mean, a lot of people our age don't like take MTV and VH1 and stuff like that for granted. Bands that got their start in the 70s, people didn't really know what they looked like, and the only way you found out about them is if they got played on the radio, or you were walking through the record store and you saw their
the guys from Boston. Most people don't know what Tom Schultz or Brad Delp look like.
I have no idea what they look like.
But their music's awesome, and people know it. Our generation, More Than a Feeling. I know
More
that
Than a Feeling.
song.
Everybody knows that song, but nobody knows what they look like.
No face to go with the music.
Well, it was like ZZ Top. I mean, nobody knows what their faces look like.
But the beards, I have to tell you, the beards do give it away a little bit.
I saw some impressive beards on fans.
Yeah.
Like, not just them. I saw. It was good, but I don't know. They're icons, but more for the music than the people.
The sound that they generated.
The sound just touched people. I don't want to sound like, I don't know, fake deep here, but it really is. Leonard Skinner, Journey, ZZ Top, they're a sound. It's not necessarily.
And people identify with that
that people
sound.
identify with, and I think that's the most important part about music is you want to write stuff that people are going to identify with, because
and that it's going to live.
They're real experiences, and they're going to and that's the thing. It's going to live like Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner will live past and has lived past almost all of its original band members. Same thing with Journey.
Yeah.
It's just.
And I think that's the mark of a true musician, that their music
really
lives past, regardless whatever,
Yeah. Anyway.
Whatever comes their way, But I'm jealous. Getting to see two shows
that
like
cool.
that, that's cool.
Well, I mean, you got to see Eddie Money.
I did get to see Eddie Money. There's a fun story behind that. So I found out through radio that he was coming. I listened to Y103, Mr. Sports, who was actually at the concert. He's a DJ for Y103, and they said that there were still VIP tickets available. So I called up McMenemy's, the restaurant, bar and grill that it was at, and I said, I want 2 VIP tickets, one for myself, one for my mom. She's a big fan. So we got them, and we were literally 10 feet away from the stage. Like, Eddie Money's right there. I'm sitting right here. There's the Money Man shaking up there. And it was awesome because we got the VIP tickets, right? So we got to meet him before the show. And there were about 50 of us, and they took us back inside the restaurant. And only a few of us got to go into the room where he was at. But I walk in, and there's Eddie Money standing right before me. He's just standing there, he's got his jacket on, like this scarf and whatnot. And the first thing that comes to mind is how tall this man is. I mean, I'm looking up at him, and I'm like, I love your music, my friend. And he's just, because he was going to be a cop at one point in his career before he became a musician. I'm like, you would have been a really good cop. You are really big right now. And I said to him, you rock, man, you rock. Because everything else just escaped my mind. I'm standing in the presence of Eddie Money, and that's all that came out. And he goes, this is what Eddie Money says to me. He looks at me and goes, you're going to love the show. And I'm like, that made my night. So I met him, shook his hand, and I did love his show. It was awesome. I was a little, going into it, I didn't know how it was going to be. I was a little cautious. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, you get somebody that started in the 70s like that.
Yeah.
And you don't know. I mean, it's been 40 years.
Yeah, easy, because, since he started, went out to LA and started, playing the clubs and whatnot. And you really haven't seen any new work from him from 91, I think was his last top 20.
Yeah.
And but he got up on that stage and he came walking out playing No Control on the harmonica, and he came out and the place just went nuts. I mean, he comes out on stage and it blew my mind how good he was performing, how well he did. But backing up a few minutes, before the show, there was a back door to the stage, and it was well, it was late evening. It was like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and the sun was setting, and Eddie Money was walking back and forth between this platform, and you could see him through this doorway walking back and forth, and he's out there smoking a cigarette, you know, and you can see the smoke just like hanging in the air of that doorway, and the sun beaming through, lighting it up, and it was just in that moment where he kept walking back and forth. I was like, that guy's a rock star. He's got the presence on stage, off stage of a rock star. And he did rock that place. His standout songs were Take Me Home Tonight, which,
obviously.
You know, classic 80s rock sound.
And that's just a big song. Like,
it is.
That had to have been impressive live.
Honestly, it was better live than on his recording. Also, 2 Tickets to Paradise. Everyone was up out of their seat. I looked around. I have footage of it, and we will be playing footage throughout the show of like different concert review. You have ZZ Top.
I have some ZZ Top.
The footage isn't the best. We apologize, but we're just using regular cameras, nothing fancy. But getting back to my comment about 2 Tickets to Paradise, everybody was up, moving and grooving. I'm up there with my camera taking pictures, but I looked around and people were really getting into this music. And I was surprised. People were singing along word for word with his songs. Not even, I mean, naturally with his bigger hits, but even like album songs like Call Me, or I believe that's what it's called, Call on Me. And people were singing along to it. I'm like, that's a fan base.
Those are fans. That's
whenever, like, your lesser known songs.
You'll get people that'll go there just to see Take Me Home Tonight.
Yeah. And I was...
But it's cool to go and know that you're surrounded by people that actually...
Yeah. He also had a sense of humor, because I appreciate a good sense of humor. He was doing the intro to I Want to Go Back on saxophone, and he's playing, and after about 30 seconds, he takes a break, and he goes up to the microphone and goes, I gotta quit smoking. And then like the drummer kicks in and everybody, and he had a great sense of humor. Like he was wearing sunglasses at one point on the one song. I Think I'm in Love, that was that song, and he took them off and threw them in. A VIP caught it, you know, because they were close enough. I did run up and try and grab him, but this guy beat him to me. But Eddie Money was very approachable, because even after the show, the last song that he did was Shaking, and he went literally from that stage back inside the restaurant, sat down, started signing autographs, and he had just finished the 16-song set without a break. And this guy, he's older.
I'll go back to the bus and take a nap.
Yeah, let's go to the next town or whatnot.
He's just like, give me a bottle of water and a pen.
And he's sitting there, and like sweat is just dripping off of him. But he's so dedicated to his fans that, you know, he sat down right away. And
that's what impresses me about artists like that. Like, if they're approachable and people can just come up to them, and I mean, if he'll sit there and sign autographs after playing a 16-song set.
And I even talked to the owner of McMenemy's, because he came into the VIP area, and he goes, Eddie will sign everyone's autograph no matter how long it takes him. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. That this guy hasn't let it go to his head how big he is, that he's still down to earth.
You get fans that are dedicated, but it really is kind of a breath of fresh air to see bands and artists that are dedicated to their fans in return.
Because that makes you want to go out and buy their albums, buy their posters. All their, I have my Eddie Money shirt right now. Not gonna lie, I bought this, but I bought this because he was so approachable, great guy, and
it's marketing.
Marketing, free marketing for you. But overall, I would give him a A-, because he was approachable. He sounded awesome, considering that he's been rocking since the '70s, and he's still doing a 16-song set, and. The only thing I would have liked to see was more songs from his Nothing to Lose album in '88, because I'm a big fan of the '80s music, and he was kind of geared more towards his early '70s, early career '70s.
Well, I mean, what was the crowd like? Cause
the crowd, age-wise, they were, I'm going to shoot for, because my mom's like 45, so let's say, she's going to hate me saying that on air.
We can edit that.
Yeah, we'll have to edit that. But I would say they were probably between 45 and let's say 55, like within that age group. But he favored early albums like Life for the Taking, his debut album Eddie Money. Yeah. He did do songs from the album that was Take Me Home Tonight. He did do some stuff from there. But overall, I loved it, and I recommend anybody who has the chance, because if Eddie Money's coming back, I'm going to see him. Go see him. He's awesome. He's well worth it. And if you can get VIP tickets and meet him, definitely do that. Now, moving along to our next segment of the show, we are going to have Tom perform, because Tom is also a very, very talented musician. So you are going to be playing a song for us today. Tell us a little bit about your music and what goes into how you craft your music.
Well, I don't know. I started out playing guitar when I was 8, so I've been playing guitar for a really long time. But I didn't start singing until a few years ago. And I kind of, I don't know, I had a lot going on. I mean, girls, parents, just
girls, very important.
A lot
very
of girls,
important.
A lot of girls. Girls influenced my music a lot more than I'd like, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. Heartbreak and love sell. So whatever. But I don't know. Just personal experience goes into a lot of my music, and I don't know. People that have seen me at open mic kind of may know me for a different song that I'm gonna play.
I do know the song you're saying, but we can't say that one on air, so
it's a little out of character. But that song is a little out of character for a lot of my other stuff.
Now, what song are you gonna be doing today?
This song is called "Useless." I wrote it last spring. I was kind of debating. I don't know. When you have somebody that you really care about, somebody that's done so much for you and like built your confidence up and just been there for you all the time, when they get down or depressed or something's bothering them, and you can tell, but they won't tell you, it's kind of, I don't know, you feel useless. You feel like you can't do anything.
Because you want to help, but you don't have anything.
All you want to do is help them, but you can't. And it's
like you're stuck between these two fields because they're here and you can't really break in.
The night that I wrote that song, I stayed up. The night that I wrote that song, I felt, I just stayed up and wrote how I was feeling.
You were inspired.
I was inspired. I mean, not that I want to write songs off of other people's despair or whatever, but I mean, it's what I was feeling.
When inspiration strikes, you have to.
That's what I do when I get depressed or upset or angry or
happy.
Jealous.
Let's throw some happy things in here.
I get happy. I'm happy. I have happy songs, but just when I feel just an overwhelming emotion, I try to turn it into a song because I at least that's the best way for me to kind of, because some people keep diaries, some people write journals, some people do live blogs.
So it's an outlet for you.
Yeah, it's an outlet. It's a release for anything really that I feel like putting into a song.
All right. Well, with that, let's check it out. Ready to perform?
Yeah.
All right, let's rock and roll.
It's 9 o'clock on a Friday night and you won't return my calls. You tell me that it's nothing, that I shouldn't worry at all. But I know that something's wrong, I can hear it when you speak. And I see, even though you're miles away from me, don't tell me everything's alright and expect me to walk away. 'Cause I know I won't sleep tonight if I know you're not okay. Don't tell me that it's nothing and expect me to feel content. 'Cause I'll be up the whole night thinking, wondering, feeling useless. What's bothering you is nothing short of killing me. Just sitting here idle wondering why you won't tell me anything. But I know that something's wrong, I can hear it when you speak. And I see, even though you're miles away from me, don't content. 'Cause I'll be up the whole night thinking, wondering, feeling useless. Tell me everything's alright and expect me to walk away. 'Cause I know I won't sleep tonight if I know you're not okay. Don't tell me that it's nothing and expect me to feel content. 'Cause I'll be up the whole night thinking, wondering, feeling useless. Oh.
Well, that concludes our first episode of Scot Rock. We hope you enjoyed it. We had fun talking about classic rock, and if you want to be a guest on the show, Tom, how do we...
Well, we're going to get some local musicians together, hopefully. And if you are said local musician, you can find us on Facebook. Just type Scot Rock, SCOT space ROCK into the Facebook search bar and get a hold of us that way. Or if you see either myself or Chris on campus, feel free to flag us down and we'll get your information.
So until then, keep rocking, right? Have a good evening.
I better quit smoking.